Hey everyone, welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics. I'm Kevin, and this is where we talk everything Lego investing and reselling. And I just got back from a weekend of camping at Cumberland Island National Seashore. If you have not been there, highly recommended, fantastic place. In this video, I'm going to do a Lego news roundup. We just got BrickTap's information on the deals and sales for Insiders Weekend and Black Friday. About 12 sets are going to be 20, 25, or 30% off. Half of those are expected to retire this year. And then about 8 sets are expected to be 4x points. That's for US data. And then I'm going to show a few random news articles, some interesting ones, some fun ones. Like, for example, it sounds like there's some good news for the online Pick-a-Brick for the United States and Canada. And it also sounds like Lego has teased a Zelda Ocarina of Time set. That would be awesome. So let's get into all of the exciting news. Insiders Weekend is going to be November 22nd and November 23rd. All of the sets are expected to be 2x points, and like I said, a handful will be 4x insider points, and then a bunch of sales. And then Black Friday and Cyber Monday will be November 28th through December 1st. All of the same insiders points in deals, and it sounds like some additional sets will be on sale, but we don't know what those are yet. And for both of these promo periods, there will be 2 GWPs. We'll look at those later. And then for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, if you get the Enterprise, there will be a GWP for that set too. Here are the retiring sets that are projected to be 20% off. First is the Forest Animals Red Fox, 20% off, even with GWPs, is not enough for me to invest in. But I'm on the fence. I might want to pick this one up for personal collection. The Fox is really good, but I actually like the Owl. I think that's the B model. The tree branch really stands out to me, even though there isn't a lot of foliage. And then I think the head is almost perfect. The Fox is good, but the side build is less interesting to me. And the head looks slightly cartoony. The $400 Disney Castle is projected to be 20% off. I think that is great. Obviously, at that price, you'll qualify for both of the GWPs. I think the thresholds are $250 and $170. I hope to get 2 of these at that price for investing. What I don't know is if we'll be able to get more than one, or if they'll do the voucher system where you get a code and you can only get one at each of these discount prices. Sometimes in the past they've done that. Sometimes with the 4X sets, it seems to be a little different each time. But I am excited to see this set on the promo list. And remember, this one's only had a 2.5-year shelf life, whereas the original large Disney Castle had 5 or 6 year shelf life. I feel like this set is sneaking out without everybody realizing, and it could be undersupplied on the secondary market. The Icons Modular Boutique Hotel, 20% off. I'm passing. I already got some at a better discount, and this one's been on sale a lot lately. This is the first of 2 retiring modular sets. This one has an extra year of shelf life. In fact, it's a 4-year shelf life. That's getting pretty long. Again, I do have some, but not a lot, and I'm worried about it being oversupplied on the secondary market, whereas the Jazz Club that we'll look at in a minute has a full year less shelf life at 3 years, and that one I think is the better investment. Lion Knight's Castle is going to be 20% off. That's awesome. I've already got a couple. I'll probably get at least one more at that price, again, with all the GWPs. This one remains very popular in the investment discussions. There's a lot of talk that this is a centerpiece set of any castle layout, and that Lego is unlikely to release another one at this price point that would be too similar. There might be another one that's very expensive, but it would be very different, that most people would want both. And even though there's a lot of buzz around it, I think the $400 price point will keep it under control in terms of supply on the secondary market. I'm sure we'll have more than usual for an expensive set to burn off, but I don't think it'll be out of control. Maybe a little extra hold time for me to get the ROI. I'm okay with that. You guys have heard me say that hold times are increasing, and I'm fine with the 3-year hold time at this point. Lego investing is definitely getting harder as more people are getting into the game, as Lego is increasing prices, as Lego continues to overproduce, oversupply, tons of different sets. So I'm fine making little adjustments to maximize my return in this fun game. And then here's that Jazz Club. This is fantastic at 20% off. I don't think I've seen this one on sale, maybe a couple of blips, but to me, this is its first significant sale that many people will have an opportunity to pick it up at. So I'll be grabbing a couple of these. This relatively new City Tower also projected at 20% off, not retiring at the end of this year. So I'm passing on it as an investment set anyways. I have liked a lot of the recent city buildings, but not this one. Too funky for me. And one thing I've noticed is that it does not have any of the new roadway plates. These pieces right here, yes, it does have a couple of railroad track pieces, but I'm surprised no roadway pieces. At over $200, this is the most recent marquee city building. I would think that if Lego really liked their new roadway system, that they would have had some of these pieces in that set so that it can connect with the other compatible sets from previous years. I can't remember the last new set that has these in. And so I'm wondering if the feedback and the demand and therefore the sales on the sets that included these roadway pieces are so bad that Lego is quietly abandoning this system. That would be really interesting. And again, hard pass for me on this set for investing or personal collection. Gringotts Bank, another of the Harry Potter collector's edition, very large, very expensive. A lot of good here, but not my favorite. Not retiring at the end of this year. Unlikely I ever invest in this set. The relatively new Kakamora Barge from Moana 2, 20% off. And then last set, 20% off, also not retiring at the end of this year, is the Der Burger restaurant. This one is way overpriced, so 20% off is probably about what the retail price should be. So if I were to invest in this one, I need to be at 50 or 60% off. Two sets that are likely to be 25% off and retiring at the end of this year. The first one, Batman, the animated series, Gotham City, pretty much an art set. You all know this one is high on my investment hit list. It hasn't been on sale yet. This is great. I'll have to get a couple of these too. It's going to be an expensive month for me. Very likely I build one for personal collection. This set has been a top 10 for me in both of my power rankings videos this year. And then the large brick-built Land Rover Classic Defender 90, 25% off, hard pass for me. Two sets, 30% off, Ninjago City Markets. Definitely one for personal collection, probably one more for investing. I know City Gardens that retired at the end of last year has not really moved up in value yet. I think give it time, it'll be okay. And I think this one will even be a longer hold time. So although I love it and I think in the long run it will be a great investment, I don't want to go too deep on it. And then lastly, Coruscant Guard Gunship at 30% off. I've got a couple of these at much greater discount. I'm looking for 50% off, but I do like it as an investment. Now the 8 sets that are going to have 4x insider points, which is the equivalent of 20% off, but return to you back in points that you can use at the Lego store or lego.com in the future. So it's really not a discount. It's go buy more Lego in the future. None of these 8 are expected to retire at the end of this year. River Steamboat from Ideas. I see the appeal. I think it's very well done, but unlikely I ever invest in it, and definitely not a set that I will have for personal collection. The NASA set with the shuttle mounted to the 747. I don't know. I'm going to wait until the year that it is expected to retire to really dive in on the metrics, but my gut tells me not a great investment set. And although I love the NASA sets, and I actually grew up loving airplanes, my initial reaction is I'd want this for personal collection, but the more I look at it, I probably won't get it for personal collection, which I hate to say because I love all the NASA sets. But the shaping in the nose of the fuselage is very chopped up for me. Some gaps in here, too studdy, the wings are too studdy, and it will take up a lot of space. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I love this set, even though I probably won't get it for personal collection, just not enough space. But I love all the greenery and the candy detail. Very nostalgic for me, and I could see it being an okay investment, but I would need to look at the metrics in the future. Lilo and Stitch Beach House, good build, but not one that I'll be getting. The Art Love Set, passing on this one too. The City Central Train Station, this set is a mess at $100 for 752 pieces. It's about $40 overpriced in my opinion. When looking at the volume of stuff and just the flow of the set, it is so chopped up. There's very little connectivity from space to space. There isn't even a train or trolley. It's like a little maintenance vehicle. Yeah, big pass for me. And then the last 2 are from the Botanicals line. Flower arrangement, beautiful set. I think I want this for a personal collection in the house, but I would be looking for a 40% discount. And then the relatively new Pretty Pink Flower Bouquet. And even though neither of those sets are retiring at the end of this year, I do have a few thoughts on where my head's at when it comes to investing in the botanicals line. Earlier this year, I was positive even on the sets that haven't retired yet because the demand is so high. My thought process was that when these do retire, the demand will carry over into the secondary market. But now I'm starting to worry. One, they all have a really long shelf life. But two, and more importantly, many of these look very similar. And because of how well they're performing for Lego, I expect them to keep pumping these out. If, for example, I were to invest in the flower bouquet, I don't see who's going to pay a premium for this on the secondary market. Since Lego started with the flower bouquet, they have released Bouquet of Pink Roses, the Pretty Pink Flower Bouquet, the flower arrangement, the Wildflower Bouquet, the Petite Sunny Bouquet, Tulip Bouquet, the Red Roses, Daisies. So I think there will be too many flower sets released after these ones individually retire, that it will be a better consumer decision to just buy the new ones, of course, when they go on sale by Lego or other retailers, than to pay the premiums on the secondary market. So I'm going to cool my jets when it comes to being motivated about investing in these. Of course, I will still track them and look at the metrics very closely before they retire, but my gut is telling me that it's unlikely I go deep other than finding those 50 or 60% off discounts. Now, the 3 GWPs to look out for during these 2 discount promo periods. And the first one is related to this first Lego Star Trek set. And this thing is a beauty. I absolutely love it. The lineup of minifigures is great, even though the detailing, especially on the legs and arms, is disappointing. There should have been more arm prints and there should have been a lot more details on some of the legs. Just little fold lines or just, some details that give it a little bit more dynamic look to it. But overall, I'm very happy with the minifigure lineup. But back to the ship, I'm extremely happy with the shaping and the design and the finished product. But like everybody else, the $400 price point is steep. Only 3,600 pieces. I realize there's some licensing fees and a lot of design effort went into this set. And again, a long lineup of minifigures. I think $350 still would have been expensive, but I could have stomached that. But $400, my gut reaction when I saw the build was day one purchase for me, especially because it comes with the GWP. But now I'm questioning at $400. So that's my take on this set so far. I know I'll be talking about it a lot in many coming videos, especially when it gets close to retiring. But now on to the GWP, the shuttle pod with another minifigure that is exclusive. Even though it's small, this is a fantastic GWP. Love this one. Again, this only comes if you buy the Enterprise. And I am worried that we're going to go through the normal routine if you want to buy it day one, where the website crashes and then this set could sell out quickly. I hope Lego produce enough for everybody that wants one within the first couple of days of buying the Enterprise can get one. I realize for investing, that means the secondary price of this GWP will not be nearly as high. I'm okay with that. It'll still do okay on the secondary market, but people shouldn't have to stay up at midnight and fight through a bad website until 4 a.m. and possibly not even get the GWP. And then on this UK website, Bricks Up, we've got images of the other 2 Black Friday and Insider Weekend GWPs that you can get with any sets that you purchase. This one has a $170 purchase threshold in the United States. 40776, the hot chocolate stand. It's definitely a high threshold at $170, but Lego does that this time of year because they usually do 2 GWPs and other promos like discounts and Forex Insider points. So I'm okay with it because obviously if you're getting this one, you might as well spend the extra $70 to get both GWPs. But I do like the build. Some good character here and definitely a nice little addition and something a little different for all of our Christmas season Lego layouts. And then the other gift with purchase at the $250 threshold is 40775 Mini Knights Castle. And I actually don't really like this set. I don't think it'll do that good on the secondary market either. Probably $30, which is okay. But there's 2 main reasons I don't like this set. First, there are too many Technic pieces that are used as the details and my eyes can't get past the fact that they're Technic pieces. So it makes the set look too utilitarian. It almost makes it look like it's pieces of machinery. And then the big reason I don't like this set is this build right here. I hope you all can see it, but it looks like a puppy dog with its front legs perched up over the castle walls. There are the two eyes. It looks like it's wearing a hat or a tuft of gray hair. And then the smile with, I don't know, the nose, the tongue, something there. I just can't unsee that. And so for personal collection, this set does not work for me. The two horses are great. I love those little builds. And I've said this before, but remember, we have a recent history of micro builds not doing well on the secondary market. I don't think they're that popular because they don't scale to minifigures. So I think this set will level out at about $30 on the secondary market. And I think the Christmas hot chocolate stand will level out at about $15. Call that $45 total. On a $250 buy-in, that's only 18% in GWP value. That's below my 20% minimum target for it to be a really good gift with purchase. That wraps up all of the deals and promos that we know of so far. A quick plug for Rakuten. I use it all the time and I still have had great success. The vast majority of my cashback has come through. If you've never used Rakuten, it's a really good cashback site. For example, right now, if you click on the Lego icon, you can get 7.5% back on all Lego set purchases that are not exclusives and hard to find, and it's probably 2.5 or 1.5% on those. And Macy's, for example, is 8% right now. I mentioned this in my last video, but I bought 12 of these boarding Tantive 4 sets. Retails for $55 at Macy's. They were $20 each. Super excited about those. All of them did get delivered, but at the time it was only 2% cash back. It would have been awesome if it was 8% cash back when those were on sale. So yeah, if you've never used Rakuten, you can sign up using my link in the description of this video. And it depends on the timing, but you'll get a $30 promo, maybe a $40 promo, and occasionally a $50 promo. And then I will get the same. Use my link or use some other Lego channel's link. Just make sure you use somebody so you get the benefit and you can do a thanks to your favorite Lego YouTuber. We all like to look out for each other and see everybody get some kickback. So have fun with Rakuten. And one trick, every now and then I see people commenting, asking if I'm getting all my Rakuten and saying that all theirs isn't coming through. And what I've noticed on lego.com in particular is when you do an order, you get that immediate email saying, hey, you put your order in. And then usually 5 to 10 minutes later, you get the second email saying, okay, it's official. And they are now working on your order. And what can happen is if you've gone over your quantity threshold, that second email is the one that says, hey, your order has been canceled. Well, what I've found is if I do my second Rakuten purchase on lego.com before I get that second email, Rakuten gets confused and doesn't realize that I did 2 separate orders. So if I have like the lighthouse that I want to order 3 of, I will order 1, get the GWP with it. This was back a few months ago, and I will wait for that second email to come through, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I will do my second lego.com order through Rakuten and then wait the additional 5, 10, and then do the third. And I've seen when I do that, all of my Rakutens do come through. And then one other plug, I don't get any kickback on this one. I don't have a link or anything like that, but I use Card Cash a lot. This is where you can buy discount gift cards. I primarily use it for Barnes & Noble. Right now it's only 6.7% off, but I've seen it up to 12%. And so as we come into the holiday discounts, which we'll also see at Barnes & Noble, I like to have these ready to go. And a lot of times right after the holidays, when people get Barnes & Noble gift cards and they don't want to use them at Barnes & Noble, then they will sell them. And you will see Card Cash percents off for Barnes & Noble go up to that 10 to 12%. So just look out for these. I've had great success with these, no issue. And again, that's another 10% average savings that I'm able to get with this website. To wrap up on Black Friday, it sounds like Amazon's deals will start on November 20th and Best Buy's deals will start on November 23rd. I did buy a bunch of dioramas from Best Buy a few years ago, but since then I have not bought much from them, even when they do the big discounts. But I do check it out every now and then, something good slips in. Now let's look at a bunch of random news articles. We got some fun stuff in here. Here on hackaday.com, here's a headline: making a machine to sort 1 million pounds of Lego. This is all of our dreams come true if it works precisely. The prototype here looks pretty involved and pretty comprehensive. Of course, there aren't enough trays down there, but maybe it can get to a more refined detail over time. This was built by somebody called Lego Spencer, never heard of him. But he highlights the three main features: a feeder to dispense one piece at a time, a classifier to decide what type of piece, and a distributor to route the piece to a bin. Of course, we're not far off with AI and good imaging, and of course, computers and software of a system that can identify every piece and every color and really sort these out. So it's great to see this moving in that direction. Also on hackaday.com, this is a funny article. This guy right here used a 3D printer to build a life-size Lego Technic buggy. All these huge Lego Technic pieces 3D printed. Here's the prototype, and then here is a picture of him riding the buggy. Humans are so cool. We come up with such neat stuff. I love this. Lincoln, Nebraska had a Brick Days event recently. Great to see more Lego events around the country and, of course, around the world. This is a great Balrog mock. Looks like a light brick in there. Ooh, and they even have a QR code for the instructions. That's great. And then scrolling down, check out this castle build. I know it seems like castle builds are a dime a dozen at these huge Lego mock events, but I still love seeing them every time, and this has great detail. Here's a great opening sentence to a news article. An award-winning artist is bringing Denverites on a journey around and through the world through sculptures built with Lego bricks. Brick Planet opened at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science on Friday. Colorful coral reefs to the African savannas. Artist Sean Kenny is aiming to share the building blocks of nature, hoping to bring a renewed sense of wonder for the Earth's complex ecosystems and their inhabitants. I would love to see this exhibit. Actually, I'm going out to Denver, I think in January, to go skiing out there. Oh, I might have to tell my buddy that we need to check this out. I've got a few pictures from this event. Here's one. Hard to see exactly what is going on there. Here's a second one. Huge brick-built butterfly, and I think that's a caterpillar there. Nice build. And then a great penguin build. Let me know in the comments what type of penguin that is. It's on the tip of my tongue. My son would know. He's all about penguins. Every time he can do a project in school and he gets to choose the topic, it's always penguins. But that's a nice build. Move over Millennium Falcon subreddit and memes. We're now into turning every new set into an enterprise, starting out with the Lego Gingerbread Enterprise. This is a mock, and this is great. Nicely done on the build here, even with a stand. I'm looking forward to the future when we have a meme off with mock Millennium Falcons versus mock Enterprises. This article is cool on Jay's Brick blog. The Lego Meyer Melbourne Christmas Windows invites you to play this holiday season. I don't know, but I'm guessing maybe Meyer Melbourne is kind of like the Macy's in New York City, where they do the holiday window displays every year. I used to live right across the street from that Manhattan Macy's for a couple of years, but check these builds out in the Meyer windows in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, there's a good picture. It's multiple windows. Definitely looks like how Macy's does it in their windows. Another angle, and then we've got some close-ups of the builds. Looks like the North Pole with boxed up toys, I think. Not exactly sure, but there's a wrapped guitar. Another shot of that scene. Looks like maybe Dad is sweating at getting all the presents under the tree. Nice build right there with the elves going through Santa's mail. Another shot of that. Santa and his reindeer with tons of minifigures down there. Yeah, that looks like a display I'd love to see, but I'm not flying all the way to Melbourne to see it. I enjoy the pictures. An article about Lego breaking ground on their $66 million warehouse in Virginia. This is in Prince George. This is different than their manufacturing facility that is kicking off in Chesterfield County in Virginia. They're both expected to open in 2027. Here in the US, we're all excited that hopefully our minifigure print quality goes up with more pieces manufactured in the United States. I don't know if printing is going to be done here, though. That's unclear to me. C-3PO is $28 off at Walmart right now. Not a huge discount, but I did see somewhere that there is a another $20 off of the Walmart cashback, instant savings. And I think you have to be a Walmart Plus member to get that. But now if we're down to about $90, that's looking pretty good. Not for investing, but for personal collection. It's not retiring at the end of this year, but I do want this one for personal collection. I think it is an outstanding build with all of that gold. If y'all remember, back in August, thousands of pieces were removed from the online Pick-a-Brick in the United States and Canada. Well, good news. It sounds like all of those are coming back on November 17th, and it sounds like new elements will be added to the online Pick-a-Brick. For all you racing fans out there, you guys know that Audi is joining Formula One in 2026. Well, the rumors are that Lego will be doing a Speed Champion, so that we add that one to the lineup. Of the 2025 design of the F1s, that'll make it 11 total, and then we've got a couple from the year before, one in the Aston Martin 2-pack, and then the other McLaren. So that'll be a pretty good paddock of F1 cars. Lego Ideas has just announced an opportunity to design a future gift with purchase, and they want it geared towards Lego City and modular building displays. They're looking for a vendor cart that would pair well with Lego City sets or modular buildings. And if you win it, then your design will be made into a GWP and you'll win a copy of the Tudor Corner set 10350. The rules are 150 to 200 pieces and no more than 2 minifigures. No motorization like trucks, vans, mopeds, or scooters. It's got to be a human-powered cart, for example. You can submit designs until December 10th. They'll first go through a selection process to create a shortlist, and the article says that shortlist will go to a fan vote. So fans will decide the final winner, again, who gets the grand prize, but it says here that any set that makes it to the fan vote will receive 4 Lego sets as prizes. I'm assuming they're 4 pretty small sets since the grand design winner gets the big modular Tudor Corner. And then I teased it at the beginning, but Lego put together a short social media video that recreates the Ocarina of Time from Legend of Zelda scene. Of course, it's got Lego minifigures and Lego pieces in there, so we're all getting excited about the rumors that maybe we'll be getting that in a Lego set form. And they even include a quote, "Do you realize who you are dealing with?" And so now we're even more excited that we're going to get Ganon in a Lego set. In a Brick Fanatics article, they were suggesting that it would be a diorama set with Ganon, Link, and Zelda. Coming out in March of 2026, around 1,000 pieces. And with today's pricing, I'm guessing in the $120 or so range. And now let's wrap up by looking at a couple of the upcoming sets on Lego.com. We already talked about the Enterprise. I talked about this large Iron Man action figure brick built, kind of like the C-3PO in terms of scale. I talked about this one in my previous video. Some new botanicals. Lego continues to knock these out of the park. There's just going to be too many designs out there. 2 Speed Champions I'm really looking forward to for personal collection and investing. The Time Machine, and then we've got Lightning McQueen. Some Minecraft sets, not too interested in those. More Marvel battle sets, this one Epic Battle, Hulkbuster versus the Hulk. And then down here we've got Spider-Man versus Sandman. I think Lego's starting to flood us with these types of sets. I don't think any of them are going to perform well. The new 15th anniversary Ninjago Blacksmith. Not a lot of volume of stuff for $100, but it is a nice little set. And then the Minecraft mini biomes. Interesting. I could see some value and demand here. And another new set that's already come out is the Tropical Aquarium at $480. And I can't believe this, but it is back order. I saw somebody joking that maybe Lego only produced 50 of them. $480, so much for this set. DG and I talked about it. Or I think it was DG and I can't remember if it was my video or one that I did with DG. But I've given my opinion. Oh, I really wish it was like a $150 aquarium with more details packed in. It could have been so good. And then check out the ratings. 11 reviews, 2.8. As you would expect, even though this one is a 5-star rating, it's all about the price. Coming down here, a 1-star, beyond way too expensive. Cool, but too expensive. What is happening at Lego? $500 Canadian, all you get is 4 fish. We need more fish. And then, of course, Lego gave their standard reply, which is rare. They rarely reply to feedback. Thank you for your review. We appreciate your feedback. We'll pass your comments on to the designers. I don't know that I've ever seen this statement actually translate into results. And I'm not knocking Lego too hard. They do great on 85% to 90% of their sets. But every now and then they come out with this, Or the Lego Hoopty, page 2 of comments, same story. Yikes, whoever's building this set at full price is out of their mind. Please stop buying these sets and inflating Lego prices. They need to be humbled. Prices have got out of control recently. All right, I'm looking forward to the deals. It's going to be an expensive month, but fun articles. Thanks a lot for watching. That's a wrap, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else.